was asked to say a few words now in memory of Zayda. And there were a few things I wanted to say. It says about Yaakov Avinu that when it was found out that Yosef was alive, and Yosef sent a whole bunch of wagons, various things, together with his brothers, back to his father Yaakov. And it says in the Torah, when Yaakov Ayaris Argolos, he saw the wagons which had come from Yosef, and it says Vatchi Yurach Yaakov Avien, that at that point Yaakov there was a life that came to his spirit. He was excited because he had seen this. And it's explained, one of the Mefarshim is that Vayaris Agalos, when he saw the wagons, it was actually a hint that Yosef was sending to his father Yaakov. And this is that even though Yaakov believed that Yosef had heard that he was still alive, he believed what he had heard, but he was concerned that Yosef, maybe in Mitzrayim, had lost the spiritual touch. He'd lost the connection to Yiddishkeit and to holiness that he was educated with by his father. And living in Mitzrayim, Eretz Haaretz, maybe he would have lost that. And therefore, Yaakov was concerned. However, when he saw the wagons, this was a hint that Yosef was sending Yaakov to remind his father of the last sugya that they learned. What was the last sugya they learned? It was about Egla Rufa, the laws of Egla Rufa. And therefore, what Yosef was telling Yaakov was, I haven't forgotten. I haven't forgotten what we've learned. And therefore, you don't have to worry. I'm holding well spiritually because I haven't forgotten. And therefore Yaakov was very happy because he saw that Yosef was holding on to the Yiddishkeit that he had been educated with. I had the zchus every week to learn Gemara with Zayda. We learned for an hour every Tuesday, and learned Gemara Rosh Hashanah. And we nearly finished the Masechta. We nearly got to the end. And I remember the last time learning with him, I remember thinking, this is the last Gemara we'll learn. When I was learning with him. How did I know that? Because the Gemara that I was learning with him encapsulated within it what he stood for in his life, in my opinion. And therefore I was thinking, when learning this with him, that this was sort of, so to speak, I don't know why, it just came to me, that this is, so to speak, his message really, before leaving this world. The Hashgacha Pratis, this Gemara. What does the Gemara say? The Gemara says, Amar Rava, Daf Chav Ches Amar Aleph in Rosh Hashanah, Amar Rava, Hamuder Hano Mechaveiroi, Muter Litzkoil Litzkish Ol Mitzvah. If Reuven says that I'm not going to have any Hano from Shimon, which means I'm not going to have any pleasure from him, I'm not going to do business with him, I'm not going to take a gift from him, I'm not going to have any pleasure from this person, I want to have nothing to do with him. He's not allowed to have anything to do with him, he's not allowed to eat in his house. Say, I'm not going to have a no from someone, you're not allowed to have a no. Is Reuven allowed to hear shofar from Shimon? It's a mitzvah. It's getting hana. It's getting pleasure from being able to be mekayim the mitzvah. Says the Gemara, Amar Rava, he's allowed to. Why is he allowed to? Why is he allowed to listen to shofar from Shimon? He's getting hana. He's being mekayim the mitzvah. Says the Gemara, the reason being Because mitzvahs lav lahanas nitnu. Mitzvahs were not given for hana. For pleasure. The purpose of mitzvahs weren't to have pleasure from. Hashem didn't give the mitzvahs to us for that reason. Hashem gave us the mitzvah, says Rashi. My grandfather's very excited learning this Rashi. Rashi says, Lav lahanas nitnu, v'Yisrael liyaz kiyuim lahem hana. Hashem didn't give us the mitzvahs for us to enjoy. He gave us the mitzvahs. Why did He give us the mitzvahs? El la'oil al tzavarem nitnu. Gave it to us as a yoke on our necks. Mitzvahs isn't about having fun. Being a Jew can be enjoyable many times, but that's not the point of it. It's a side benefit. The point of being a Yid and being Mekayim Torah mitzvahs is about a yoke. It's about doing what Hashem wants. If you enjoy it, good. If you don't enjoy it, too bad. You do it anyway. And I couldn't get my head around it, and I had this discussion with him for a number of minutes. Come on, Chassidus is about enjoying. It's about, doing a mitzvah ba'ava. Even tachas Hashem kecha b'simcha. That we get punished because we don't do the mitzvah. The simcha, the mitzvahs with joy. What do you mean? Mitzvahs have to be with joy. And he says, no. He says, that's all a bonus. If you have joy, if you enjoy it, if it's something brings you pleasure, fantastic. But the ikar kiyam ha-mitzvah, why did Hashem give us the mitzvah? That's what He wants. It's a yoke that we have to do it. Regardless, you enjoy it, good, you don't enjoy it, too bad. And to me, this Gemara really symbolizes what Zayda stood for in his life, in his actions. And that is that he was a Shulchan Aruch Yid. It was easy, it wasn't easy. Learn Torah, keep mitzvahs, do what you have to do. The number of aspects that I was witness to of his commitment to Yiddishkeit. It's very difficult where to start and where to finish, because you could talk about this for a very long time. But there's a few episodes that I saw myself firsthand. His dikduk in mitzvahs, his medakduk with mitzvahs, very much to the last little detail. I went with him on the plane this year to beginning of the year, to beginning of the secular year, last year in the Jewish year, to my brother Oshi's induction in South Africa, and I travelled with him. And every time he went to the toilet, to go to the toilet wasn't easy. It was medakduk to do Negelwasser and proper Negelwasser. And it's not easy on the plane. There's no proper sinks. It's difficult, but he was medakduk. The Negelwasser should be done properly. And even when I was in the hospital with him now, and he couldn't even get off the bed. And I was with him one afternoon, and before the evening, he tells me, quickly fill up the Negelwasser for tomorrow morning, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to make brachas before I wash Negelwasser and put it next to my bed. This is what he's thinking about, lying in hospital, to make sure that he has Negelwasser there. The simple, every little mitzvah was important. Not just mitzvahs, limud Torah also. The last words he told me in the hospital, his oxygen was a bit going up and down, and he was getting a bit confused the day of the week and what's going on. He says, I'm going confused, I don't know what's up. And then he looks at me and he says, are we learning?